Einspruch! Willkommen im Gerichtssaal. Oder nein, warte. Eher... Oder. Ich habe jetzt endlich meine Sounddateien fertig. Hallöchen. Und willkommen zu einer weiteren Runde Ace Attorney mit Crimson und Shadow. Hallo.
Moin, moin.
Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Saku. Guten Abend. Siehst du, so süß. Nack, nack. Saku, nein, warte. Chiara. Esel. Okay. Das letzte Mal bei The Great Ace Attorney haben wir Mr. McGilded in einem Feuer verloren. Wir haben Edgar Allan Poe getroffen, eine super niedliche Katze. Und wir haben einen Ehestreit entdeckt, herausgestellt.
Hübsch und ich haben uns doch beim letzten Mal gar nicht mal so gestritten. Was erzählst du da schon wieder?
Das war die falsche Deduktion von Sherlock. Kappa. Hey, Alu! Und hallo, Salorar. Salorar? Dankeschön für dein Follow. Müsste nicht eigentlich? Achso, falscher Bildschirm, deshalb. Gab's keinen Sound. Willkommen! Ja, du musst den Manga lesen. I have to do so many things. Oh, einmal die Spielaufnahme ändern. Nein, wir sind nicht bei Sea of Thieves, wir sind bei Ace Attorney. Ach ja, und weil das spiele ich. Sekunde. Sollte mir das jetzt ein zweites aufmachen. Egal. Ja, ihr kriegt euch auch Bildsekunde. Ich habe euch dich vergessen. Nein, das ist falsch. Da. Schön. Bild, Ton, Kamera, Action.
Bild, Ton, Gefühle. Wie Teibel, wo gibt's sowas? Bei Aldi für 2,90. Echt so günstig?
Nur bei Roller. Sehen wir uns, ich gebe ihn dir dann. Ich weiß nicht, vielleicht am Wochenende? Na, mit Marcel. Geht Gefühle. Ja, pfui, raus damit. Deswegen werden die zu Schleuderpreisen verkauft. So, The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Wir sind gespannt. Am Samstag treffe ich Mischa. Willst du mit? Achso, ja, dann das können wir machen. So, well, here we are again. Well, I never expected this. Who would have thought we'd be back here again so soon? It feels like it's been yesterday. We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. And all we ever see is this courtroom. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but... For the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court. It could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little cross. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Who is so chipper?
I don't know. Bestimmt Iris, oder?
Maybe. Good morning. Nein, das kann nicht sein. Das kann ja nicht sein.
Ich weiß nicht mal mehr, wie ich ihn gesprochen habe.
Er wirkt nicht so wie jemand, der laut Good Morning ruft.
Vielleicht aus Nervosität, so nervös wie er ist.
Ja, das kann sein.
So wie, ein bisschen wie Apollo. Mir geht's gut.
I'm fine.
Good morning.
Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression. Meine Augen sind echt rot.
But I really don't want to catch a worm. I've been sleeping for 24 hours. I still haven't had enough.
Okay.
So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result.
Na toll. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. Oh God.
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm terrified too. Tremble.
But you're trembling. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor.
I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Yes?
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London.
Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it?
Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Zieks? Is that right, Miss Susato? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zieks is on the front page of everyone. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zieks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. Alles klar, Alu! The trial of Magnus McGilded. Magnus McGilded.
Magnum, erstmal so ein Eis.
Ram. What a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? Rude? That's the question the papers are asking, and they are all speculating various answers.
Mundane? Mundane? It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us!
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you!
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times, it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean... And you're friends with the Reaper!
I've only met him yesterday, but we're not friends! Keep telling that. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? Why the least lucky lawyer alive?
Hey, I won yesterday-ish. I mean, the day before. Anyways. Let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Hmm?
Oh, crap.
Yes, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience or skills, or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end. And I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Jesus, it's getting even longer. At some point you have to breathe. Take a breath within the title. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires. I am in your debt forever. I shall never forget this great kindness.
Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. Hi. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go.
I didn't even get to finish my sentence, but yes!
Let's go.
Bevor er noch einen wegdrückt.
This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma.
Hey! Steht bereit.
Don't fuck this up, Yonosuke. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. I believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. Always. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Ah, crap. Months late. And 100 years. 30th February, 10 AM. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, there's some other people.
Shadow, möchtest du den heute mal haben? Ich mach den Judge.
Aber dann macht Shadow ja den Judge und Van Siegs.
Stimmt. Ah. Oh Gott, wo ist mein Kalinski? In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Ich muss mich mal kurz aushusten. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord.
The defense is ready, my lord. Hi, Scott.
The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed.
Stop being racist! Sorry, what? Couldn't hear you over the muffling of your coat.
Blah blah. Ich muss auf den Knopf drücken, ich Vollidiot. Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur.
Do you have a point?
Being a compatriot, you feel compelled?
Mhm.
Compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Stop being racist!
In your hubris.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Susato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Too sober for this shit.
Ja, hat er noch nicht verstanden. Fängt jetzt schon an. Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquaintance and his unfortunate violent end. Keine Anschlüssen? Okay, gut, trink ich alleine.
Thank you, Countess. I see both sides are in fine federal.
Hast du mich gerade fett genannt?
Now, ladies and gentle beauties of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
Oh, guck.
Wait, isn't that?
Yep, that's him.
You never know when you might be down on your luck. Well, I believe in fair play for everyone.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Okay, Betty.
Ja, ich glaube, das war auch dein Patient.
Er sieht so ähnlich aus, auf jeden Fall.
Ja, ich glaube, das ist er nicht. Das ist nicht Donald.
Das ist nicht Donald. Aber ich krieg gleich noch eine Lady, also.
Oh, well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow.
I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that Mustache Foreigner did the deed.
Das ist die Frau!
Das ist die Frau, die Tee in den Schritt kippt.
What is it? What is wrong with you? Ja, ich glaube, so habe ich sie gesprochen, oder?
Kommt hin.
Die Jiggle Physics im Gesicht einfach bei ihr.
Der ist cool.
Come on, what are you waiting for? No doubt she did it anyway.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Ist das hier nicht der Großvater von Heidi?
Aber den Almöhi, den kann ich auch nicht sprechen.
Ja, so ein bisschen.
Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zieks.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Suzuki Natsume. And while our country has extended his foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act.
War doch noch gut.
Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath, they are.
Just look at that solo complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
Stop being racist!
Well, come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2. And the number after this, 3.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that.
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollowed Chalice?
Mhm. Ja, das glaube ich.
Sein Weinglas.
Mhm.
Here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Oh nein, er futtert immer noch.
Stop making me hungry.
Your name and occupation, please. Shit, how I waste him. I have no idea.
Du bist so ein bisschen wie Juror Nummer 1 jetzt, ne?
Ja, so ein bisschen Kacke.
Aber mit ständig was zwischen den Zähnen.
Jedes Mal irgendwie, keine Ahnung. Immer die Mustache-Typen haben dieselbe Stimme.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
Olive Garden.
That's the name?
Well, she's dead anyways.
I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be?
Yes. Haven't been stabbed on the back by her attacker's knife. The victim...
Warum wollte ich das V jedes Mal?
The victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago, and she been comatose ever since. So she's not dead
What?
yet.
So they don't even know who she is for sure?
Ah, comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger.
Not yet.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Ray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Yes, sir. If I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement, running alongside Briar Road. A wide, nicht right, thoroughfare? Was? Thoroughfare?
Thoroughfare.
Thoroughfare. For horse-down vehicles.
Warum wollte ich das V jedes Mal machen?
Oh mein Gott. Wah.
Das ist auch jedes Mal, wenn ich Villains sagen will, aber kommt auch jedes Mal. The Villains. The Willem Dafoe.
Rutscht in die EU-Sprache ab.
Das ist nicht mal beabsichtigt.
We all fair. We all make mistakes.
Oh, shut up, you.
It had no long since stopped snowing as the victim. Extra langsam bei dem Wort. Miss Green was walking down the street.
Düt, 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 düt.
Inspector Gregson. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. A Schwein. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is a case file with everything we know about the victim so far.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
Ihn immer noch am Lesen.
What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's bag.
Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
So ein süßes kleines Taschenmesser.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scraggly-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth in pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
I'm afraid I couldn't say that. Couldn't say. I don't know. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshop, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
Sag ich doch.
If theft and grievance had been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
This bitch empty. Yeet.
War kein Pfand mehr drauf, weg damit.
Umweltverschmutzung!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery.
Ins Publikum. Ah!
Hat irgendeiner einen Kopf gekriegt, das Ding.
Hat so einfach so Dünk.
Dann clear.
Bailiff kommt an mit Mob und Scherbenkehrer hier.
But your words have a sword. It's hollowed. Okay. Okay.
Ja.
Okay.
Ich habe den Wein sauer gemacht, alles klar.
For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
They're not friends!
Search your feelings.
What? That's impossible.
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause.
That's debatable.
That should be beyond question.
Felix,
Press X to doubt.
Yeah, doubt. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your former testimony. Explain to the court precisely where the constable... Constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Achso, von Constable. Ja, okay.
Yes, sir.
Sind schon wieder Wörter in diesem Spiel, die ich nicht kenne.
Was soll ich sagen? And I can't read.
Dafür kannst du Französisch.
Was kann ich?
Oh la la.
Bouquet hast du doch ganz gut vorgelesen.
Ja gut, stimmt. Mr. Natsume's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog.
Unusual light fog in London? Always foggy in London.
Maybe you want to say fog? And it was changed to fog?
No.
Anyway.
Frog.
Oh. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to. And we found the bloke to arrest him.
Old books, you say?
Old books, yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
In Farbe?
Den war langweilig auf dem Revier, deswegen haben sie
haben sie ausgemalt.
Daubt.
Ah, yes, I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. Yeah.
Warum ist sie denn so umgefallen? Oh Gott.
I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
There is no way this picture is in color.
You Nepalese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat.
Oh, that rhymed.
Isn't that a little contradictory? If we were spineless, we would have given in immediately.
Sie Van Siegs in the house.
Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Forgive me, Lord Van Siegs, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sato?
Do go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had all happened in his view.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs could carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat?
Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing.
Oh my! A photographic print in full color? What will the world come up with next? Let me tell you! Will ich wissen? Warte, ich will das jetzt wissen. First
Gechickel, ey.
photography in color. Oh, the world's first color photo was produced in 1861 by Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell. Okay, I take it back then.
Glück gehabt, Spiel.
Scotland Yard hat nur die neueste Technik, die wahrscheinlich scheiße teuer ist. The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time. Just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman.
Mal eine Frage nebenbei. Braucht der, nein, die Dame, mit dem Messer im Rücken die Bücher noch? Frage für einen Freund. Das sind nur die neuesten Sherlock Holmes Bücher.
A fact that the accused concedes.
Ah,
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Machine.
yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. To gyak den Saiban. It's our only chance. Dann pressen wir mal alles.
Hold it!
A light fog, you say? Fog. Fog.
Aber nur ganz leichter. Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once.
Ah.
Not much farther, though.
Ah, so das meinst du, das war unüblich.
Naja,
dass er nur leicht war.
Danny.
Okay. That's light, is it?
Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that... that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance.
Aber davon weniger sieht?
Man sieht die Menschen weniger. Siehst aber, dass hier voll Rassisten sind.
Ja.
Ja.
Tja, how quaint.
Der einzige Nebel, den wir in Japan kennen, ist der den Fuji verschleiert. Plötzlich ein riesiger Berg. Einfach weg.
Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. I don't want to see a heavy fog in London. Sometimes you can even see your own hand at the end of your arm.
So wie letztens in Minecraft.
Indeed, erklärt von Ingrid. The other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling.
You didn't hear that coming? Klapp, 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 klapp. Das hat man nicht gehört. Oder was?
Er ist taub.
I am old, leave me be.
Oder gestern in Sea of Thieves, da war der Nebel auch sehr, sehr dicht.
Oh, ja, das war krass.
Sister-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look and listen. And smell the roses.
On the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused.
Hold it!
How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend.
We're not friends.
Give it time, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us.
What witnesses? Ah, yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? Ach ja, die komischen Jojo-Typen.
Ach ja, Sparkling, irgendwas und Popeye.
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
Oh. Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen.
I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by a gas streetlight.
Oh. That's fancy.
The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
So he's gaslighting us. Okay.
Now, quiet here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
As you triple little light fantastic with me.
Did somebody say darkness?
Oh. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. Ugh, if I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Ich kann einfach seine Pommes nicht mehr sehen, ich krieg Hunger.
Wenigstens beißt er nicht davon ab. From behind, you say? Ay.
Bow chicka bow bow, you know it. That's right. As you can see from this print.
Rated R for mature audience.
Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition? Comatose, no less.
Why is there no blood? Did you forget to color it in or what?
Soll man noch kinderfreundlich sein.
Hä, wir hatten Blut am Steak.
Ja.
Ich sag, es ist alles eine Farce.
Ja. I'm afraid so, my lord. Yes, she is being treated at Barts. I was hopefully that she'd come around before the trial started, so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be.
Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky.
Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Jesus. Mr. Natsume's belongings?
I think you find it all there in the photographic print of the crime scene.
Books. 3 of them.
Yes, the 3 books on the floor.
That's right, my lord. Second-hand books, they were... irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. Den Schnee hat sie doch ganz gut gedodged beim Hinfallen. The accused would easily have carried all 3 books in one hand. Which means... his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back?
That must be what happened, my lord. Yes.
The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I command the accused on the lofty? Loft. Finde ich das Wort so dämlich. Bestimmt lofty ausgesprochen, oder?
Nö, Lofty ist schon richtig.
Ja.
Lofty?
Ja.
Das klingt so dämlich. Accused on the Lofty. Mann! Lofty.
Ich stell mir gerade vor, wie man Six einfach wirklich die ganze Zeit kichern muss, während er versucht, das Wort auszusprechen.
I command the accused on the Lofty. One more. On the lofty subject. Das ist wirklich lang. A matter of his scholarly attention.
Monkey D. Lofty.
Lofty. Manche hören Lo-Fi und er hört Lofty.
Ja. In seinem Loft.
Das Monster von Loft Nest. The Brooks room has stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books.
Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Lara Lofty.
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at this street map again, I'm afraid.
Lofty's in the air.
Sehr schön.
With books.
The closest second-hand bookshop of the accused lodgings is the place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. Is that a real street name?
Shit, I hope.
Suddenly German.
Mehr Schaum, ich hätte gern mehr Schaum.
Oder die Meerjungfrau, die zu Meerschaum wurde.
As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road, at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home.
Down the street.
Something like this.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo? I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the bookshop's location. The crucial detail in what you've just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop.
I couldn't agree more.
So, where is it exactly?
Huh? You mean me sunshine? I just explained that. I got the map out and everything. It used red blue ink and threw the bloke's road home on for you. What are you, stupid?
And I distinctly remember seeing you nod along, Counsel.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. I must have been so nervous I didn't take it in. Could you repeat that, please?
The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend.
We're not friends. No, not yet. The trial's only just begun after all. Mr. Naruhodo, please think about it. I would strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage. Yes, miss, at once, miss. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss.
Please don't take my furniture.
Sie hat was Schlimmeres als Franziskas Peitsche. Sie hat den Takedown.
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 Inspector, continue with your testimony, please.
No, wait. I have to... Hold up. Was that important? Do I have to go back?
Nah.
You don't
Wir
know?
pressen wir erstmal nochmal hier.
Ja, wenn es wichtig ist, dann wird sie mir noch sagen, dass ich das irgendwo anbringen muss.
Hold it!
You asked for the help of the famous detective Sherlock Holmes to locate the defendant, I believe.
stuff and nonsense.
Sorry? Oh, don't shove it in your pocket.
That jack in office, that busybody, it just come and sticks his oar in whatever he asks him or not.
But according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives.
Well, that was nothing to do with me. The lads at the scene must have done it without my permission.
Yeah.
I tell him time and again, whenever something happens, send word to headquarters.
Gute Nacht, Saku, schlaf gut.
Gute Nacht. Then follow your blooming instructions.
Warum ist da kein Ketchup? Weil da
Ja,
Essig drauf ist.
Ein
Ja, halt
Ketchup dazu.
Da macht halt eine Essigkur. Essig oder Essig nicht.
Im Moment ist er nicht, ja.
I see.
If that meddler gets his hands on any details, we'll all be reading it in Rand's magazine next month. And you can bet your last farten that I'll be in there too, stripped all by my hard work in that case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. No, Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That are the things you're forgetting. Hector. If the man is proving...
Nee, Proving ist schon richtig.
Proving... detrimental on, to the yard's activities.
Diese Fish and Chips sind eine wahre Schlagzeile, zumindest sind sie in einer Zeitung.
Perhaps I should step in and deal with him. Oh, das wird ein knackiger Dreier. Kinky.
It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words.
Yeah, the Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is this. That little Japanese bloke already admitted. He admitted that those books all over the pavement at the scene where they once he brought that day.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid...
That Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed? Yeah. They're sure to find him guilty. So, one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the Inspector's testimony. Hat er eventuell den Namen der Buchhandlung mal gesagt?
Was Barbaries?
Ja,
Bourbon Books, ja.
aber eventuell hat Soseki einen anderen Namen gesagt.
Na, dann müssen wir uns mal in der Gerichtsakte bis umgucken.
Ja, ich will das aber in der richtigen... Wo war das?
Ik them ein.
Your books. Objection, I guess?
Hau mal rein.
Nimm das!
Objection!
Nein! Muss ich ihn erst pressen und dann sagen, es ist übrigens die Bourbon-Buchhandlung, das ist wichtig? Okay. Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we? No, we don't.
Ist nicht! Ruhe auf dem Bildchenplätzchen!
Okay. Ja gut, dann nicht.
Dann dich.
Hinsetzen, Fresse halten!
Hm. Ja, ich muss da anders rangehen. Verstehe schon. Dann pressen wir nochmal. Guten Tag, wir hatten das schon. Also, daily basis, blablabla, so understand, literature, dass er mich nicht in den Loop haut, bis ich das richtig beantwortet habe, though. Bourbon Books. Place on the corner of my Broden Shop Street. Da geht er lang. So, da war er.
Schön. Ah, das ist ganz toll.
So, Mr. Naruhodo. Ja, ja. It's very important. I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being the bookshop's name. Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes. It would be a very important clue.
Very well, not that I can see it being of any great significance.
Jonosuke, your Phoenix is showing.
But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say.
Let the man be any more sardonic? Aha, jetzt aber. Jetzt aber. Jetzt will ich pressen. Ich meine präsenten.
Yes. Das war mit unserem Box, genau.
Objection!
Objection!
If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is this sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
Ah, ich hab Essig in mein Auge gekriegt.
Schritt so weit.
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found that in the accused's room, did you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
My books? Your books. Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Yes, my lord. So, Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
What?
Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop?
Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop, not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place. I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
Objection!
But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And you did not do your job properly. This receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes. Well, what difference it makes?
Yeah, where is that bookshop though?
Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map here. If that might be of help? Yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
Oh, my. It rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Kennt sich keiner in dieser Stadt aus?
Nope.
Is
One
it
of the
right,
victims.
Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
Absolutely. It absolutely could be right.
Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment?
Direkt daneben. Hat nichts geändert. Oh.
Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that your books is just here in the next corner of Mershon Street going east.
Also ist die Möglichkeit, dass er die andere Richtung rumgegangen ist. Weil das unser einziger Haken ist.
And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. Damn. Oh, a new bottle, that's nice.
Und ein neues Glas. My learned Nepalese friend is obviously in training to be a clown. The way he regards
Fuck you!
us with such.
We're not friends!
Er hat einfach unter die ganze Aussage hat auf Twitter einfach so ein Clown-Emote gemacht.
Also, du bist nicht nur der Clown, du bist der ganze Zirkus.
Hey!
Hamas. To your future career. Yep.
As the circus!
Yes, the circus! And now we come full circle.
You put that glass down. No, I'll put it down for you.
Oh, so satt das an.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but we go. If the accused was coming home from your books instead of bourbon books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, thank you, Inspector.
Er hat nur jetzt die Sache, wenn er aufkommt, der ist anders gelaufen.
Ja, das müssen wir jetzt beweisen. Ein Wein schwenkt nicht richtig.
Der hat doch irgendwas dazu gemischt, dass es ein bisschen dickflüssiger ist. Der isst das
Schlangengift.
Zeug und trinkt das nicht.
Einfach Schlangengift.
Allow me to reiterate. Damn it, Ziggy. From I learned. If somewhat slow,
Wow.
Nepalese friend.
I'm not your friend, and I'm not slow. Screw you. Why would you do that?
I have like 50 more of these.
Gab's im Humble Bundle. Wherever the main purchase is musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Vor allem, er bezeichnet die Bücher als unterwertig. Es sind aber alles englische Bücher. Also macht eigentlich sein eigenes Land fertig, ne?
Und halt alte, abgegriffene Bücher, deshalb.
As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Was? Ich hab nichts gehört.
Oh, jetzt ist er noch Deutsch.
Was hat er gesagt? Nichts hat er gesagt. Rausgeschmissen haben sie. Klutze, fix nur eins. Was soll das hier?
Da fehlt nur noch die Feder. Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. What do you mean?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
She's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
Think, Naruhodo, think.
He claims Suseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but I have to raise an objection.
Hi, Mina.
Let's raise an objection.
For Mina.
The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Bluffing, here we go.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Bullshitting on my way. You can see what I mean on this map. There's 2 ways he could have walked. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the persecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route. Route?
Both is good.
To take between the 2 places. Aha! If the defendant used these streets, look what happens! Haha! He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that...
You are the circus.
That route is what it commonly referred to as the long way around.
Vielleicht wollte er einfach noch einen Spaziergang machen.
Ja,
Oder auf der anderen Straße sind ihm zu viele Menschen unterwegs. Er wollte nicht gesehen werden.
wer weiß, was das für Bücher waren? Ne? Vielleicht war das so 50 Shades of, was weiß ich.
50 Shades of dunkler Nebel in London.
Ein Beispiel, man weiß es ja nicht. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take the longer road home?
Well, didn't ask.
He was want to walk it off. The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Objection!
But, aha,
No,
yes! I've got it, the but. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
Toll. Danke, Soseki.
That's inconvenient.
Ah, nix kann er.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which road he took home.
And probably the long road, though. I don't believe this! Ugh.
And scene. I thank you, my learned friend.
We're not friends.
Presst er einfach so, während er mit dem Kopf auf dem Tisch steht. So.
Ja. Oh Mann.
I suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightfully jurors?
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty as fuck!
But even if that is the case, the defense still... Uh-oh. People want to fight me.
Wie die Frau da schon Trash angeboten hat.
Na komm mal her, mein Junge, du. Ich lass den Ring auch an.
Oh Gott, die schüttet mir Kaffee in den Schritt.
Die Waffen einer Frau. Eine heiße Kanne Tee.
I agree with Lord Von Siegs. Wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well, in that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty!
Guilty.
Oh, okay, ich muss das nicht mehr raussprechen.
Guilty.
Thanks, great.
Guilty!
Oh no.
Guilty.
Wait, that's his voice? Fuck.
It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous.
Aus welchen
Das
setzt
war das
häusliche Gewalt
kürzeste
ein?
Trial, was wir je hatten, ne?
Attacke
Ja,
sehr.
gehen wir nach Hause, trinken nur ein und dann war's das, ne?
Ja, tschüss,
klar,
Lustig, war nett mit dir.
Leonoske, was möchtest du trinken?
Hier, mein Wein.
Ich hätte gerne auf.
Nimm einen Schluck.
To the insightful member of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve queen and country admirable.
Donarudo.
Wie und dann noch eins.
No. Not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow!
Those are the eyes of Quarry not yet willing to give up and die. Time for a minigame. Hang with Gambit. Ach nein, falsches Spiel. I presume you intend to wield your right against this trial. Rights of the defense written into it. Antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Call it antiquated. Fuck.
Call it that!
Call it antiquated if you will. But if the defense is... Fuck! Auf solche Wörter zu benutzen! Wie soll ich denn dramatisch vorlesen, wenn du mit solchen Wörtern kommst?
Go with the flow.
But it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses.
Roll for intimidation! Natural one!
Very well, Counsel.
Woo.
Oh, ich weiß jetzt auch nicht, ne?
Blah, blah, blah. Fuck!
In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. Ich war noch nicht so bereit. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his ally.
Ellie.
Ellie Pupelli.
Very well, then. Ladies and gentle beauties of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
I'm just racist. Oh, well.
Have a good day. For pity's sake, that little Liberty's oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why, it can only have been the victim.
The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Oh, my. Your books, ja. Schöner Laden. Aber Burn Books? Nee, da geh ich nicht hin.
Schön. So what's your reasoning?
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
What?
Aha.
Kann man nichts machen, Entschuldigung.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Sofort verhaften, alle ins Gulag.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Ugh. Why did he have to run away like that?
Er hat das nicht gemacht.
And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible! How can I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide.
I must make the jurors change their minds.
Well, 4 of them at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward.
And forge evidence. I mean, what?
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination. And no forging evidence this time.
Der Angeklagte, das Opfer, der Staatsanwalt, der Richter, die Geschworene, allesamt ins Kitchen. Wollen sie da was kochen oder was?
Ein Komplott.
Naja, ein Gulasch. Gulasch wollen sie da kochen.
Yes, my lord. Just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Yonosuke. You can do it. Time to bullshit.
Time to use bullshit 101. With his sword.
The defense's rebuttal.
Oh Gott, Rebuttal, wenn ich das schon höre, das Wort.
Ich will speichern.
Hey.
Er hat Idiot Sandwich bei sich selbst gemacht. Also, Genoske, was bist du? Pff, Idiot Sandwich. Damn fucking right you are.
Okay, ich press mal alles, ne? Viel Spaß. Excuse me, but... Aren't you... Do we know each other?
Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago.
Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or the side of it anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you?
Well, that's right. After the gold rushed down under, I came back to London to work. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute.
Sorry.
Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and the young hatter pegged as criminals.
Oh yeah, well, you know, water under the bridge.
Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop.
Bacha.
If I could turn back the clock,
Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now.
Vielleicht sitzt ja doch noch irgendwo jemand.
And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
thank goodness, I guess. Alright, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history.
Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. If he's sad that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Let's press.
Was war nochmal Pit? Verdammt, was war Pit? You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly that funny little Lebanese man with a disturbing mustache is the culprit.
But let us not forget, madam, The defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward, honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you are suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
Well, I really couldn't say. After all, you are... foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
Stop being racist! I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it!
I do declare, the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious.
Ja, aber es gab auch Witnesses und die hat er nicht gesehen, also...
No one else could have possibly committed this awful crime.
Ugh.
If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you are too kind, my lord.
That went well. For her.
A man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
Hold it!
Wenn wir Juror Nummer 1 loswerden, darf ich dann seinen Stab haben? Marcel, nein!
Das ist der Stab, der da schon angekaut wurde.
Ja,
aber
das
außer
ist
der
eklig.
ist angekaut, den will man nicht, nee.
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it, Calabash Road or something?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true.
And at the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there?
Either way, no. Well, yes, that's true as well.
And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
Maybe he went a big round and got lost in something. Well, yes, that's annoyingly true.
Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, yes. Why is this all true?
So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road.
I'm supposed to be convincing you. Yeah, I'm supposed to be convincing you here.
I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Roadway, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would.
A reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home.
Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
Hold it!
We've met.
Whatever is the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Gary Depp, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
Oh, the master's wife? Where do you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid, you understand?
She's keeping up that charade? This is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? That you'd be selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodgings in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been in a little over a week now.
And in that time, surely you must have taken stocks of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the man you would... who would commit a crime such as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort. That's not what I wanted to hear.
What?
Spending all this time in that dark and dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous mustache. The man never speaks, and don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something. Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more.
Well, you just called him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already. Let's skip you. Because you start your sentence with, I don't care. A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Oh, don't get clever with me now, son. Boy. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's.
Oh. So this guy.
The likes of you wouldn't understand. But a laborer like me can afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor and get the road truck, nicht truck. Road trucks. Road truck up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk. It is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
Interesting. What? Another coincidence?
Well, that's right, Meerschaum Street it was.
Meerschaum Street.
Meerschaum?
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets. Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
But what's the point of that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important. I'm sorry I said that I want you to skip your statement because you said you don't care.
Fine, I'll do it then.
You turn out to be having vital information.
Ich habe das Gefühl, ich spreche irgendwie die ganze den Typen, Juror 1 und der Inspektor irgendwie komplett gleich. Hold it! I'm sorry, ich kriege irgendwie heute keine recht anderen Stimmen hin.
So, if I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day.
That's right. Like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. It's the only time of year fellows like me can actually make a few bob. And I'm missing out today.
And when you say from dawn till dusk...
Well, the work has to be completed within the day. See, the coaches or pedestrians can... Pedestrians? Oh, no. Can pass while it's happening.
I wonder if I could trouble you, sir, to mark on this street map the exact location of the works you were carrying out?
Give it here then. Let me have a look. Right, let's see then.
Yes.
Here we are, Meerschaum Street. Yes, it was just here, like... It was a tiny dig, I can tell you. We had to get through all the drift of snow and had frozen solid.
And at what sort of time did you finish the work?
Well, we started in the morning, and we can have finished before gone 6, I'd say. The snow had stopped coming down, but it was long past dark for sure.
That means the roadwork was still going on when Mrs. Green was attacked at around 5 o'clock.
Roadworks on Meerschaum Street, huh? Perfect.
Was? Hm? Entschuldigung. Falten? Was Falten?
Alten, nicht falten. No,
Was ist mit den Alten?
what I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
Ich mag die alten Bücher, die Sie dort haben, ja. Die lese ich ziemlich gerne bei einer guten Tasse Tee. Das ist so meine tägliche Routine. Dasselbe Ding jeden Tag. Sogar mit, sogar an dem Tag, von dem Sie reden. Ja.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Und ich habe mir da überall so ein paar Bücher am Nachmittag rausgesucht und es war so kurz vor 5, als ich gegangen bin. Das ist so mein täglicher Ablauf, weißt du? Dasselbe jeden Tag, auch an dem Tag, von dem Sie reden.
Just before 5, you say. Exactly when the victim was attacked. Er hat ihn gesehen, er trägt ja auch grün. Er hat die gleiche...
Was? Nein, das kann nicht sein.
Are you sure about the time?
Ja, ohne Zweifel. Ich erinnere mich sehr gut.
Sind sie hingefallen?
Und? Erstens stimmt das gar nicht, zweitens da und. So einen Tag vergesse ich so schnell nicht. Nicht auch wenn ich in Eile bin. Auch und weil ich die schwere Zeit nicht durchmachen musste.
Das Gewehr wird zwischendurch so, ich spreche Japanisch und Englisch. Aber seit wann verstehe ich Deutsch?
Sehr nah miteinander verwandt, die Sprachen, das funktioniert schon. What do you mean?
Nun, ich bin die Calabash Road entlang gegangen, als ich ausgerutscht bin auf dem Eis und habe mir den Kopf angeschlagen. Seitdem spreche ich Deutsch.
Ach so!
Oh. Wie was glaubst du, ne, wo JD diesen Tagtraum hatte? Dass er im Gehirn irgendwie so keine Ahnung, rumgeschnippelt wird. Okay, ich mache jetzt mal jetzt hier dran. Auf einmal fängt er an, Französisch zu sprechen. Okay, das war das Sprachzentrum.
Oh nein, nicht der arme Herr.
Es ist immer am schlimmsten, wenn gerade der Schnee aufgehört hat zu fallen. Dann ist es am rutschigsten. Hab mich voll ausgenockt, habe ich, ja. Und ich dachte schon, meine Zeit wäre abgelaufen.
Moment mal, wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road?
Hab ich doch gesagt. Ich lebe in Cornpipe, wissen Sie? Wenn ich die Calabash Road entlang gehe, ist es der schnellste Weg für mich, um von Your Books nach Hause zu kommen. Ja.
Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Was? Extrem krank? Nein, mir geht's gut.
Aber geht doch wirklich signifikant.
Was, krank?
It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective.
I agree. It's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine and the blatant racism. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume or anything. That's something.
We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly.
Yes, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again, carefully. And if any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other.
Yes, don't hold back. Pit them against each other.
Alle in den Kreis stellen und jeder kriegt ein Messer.
Oh Gott, Moshpit! So. Kann ich die jetzt pitten mit dem Juror Nummer 6? 6? Funktioniert das so? Ich weiß es gerade nicht mehr.
Naja, 6 ist der dicke Bayer.
Hatten wir das überhaupt schon mal in den vorherigen Trials?
Ja, hatten wir schon.
Okay.
Sonst würde das erklären, wie es funktioniert. So. Du.
Ich weiß das schon gar nicht mehr.
Und du. Ah ne, ich glaube, erst muss ich den anderen machen, ne?
Ich glaube, nee, du kannst dir die Reihenfolge ausmachen. Du musst sie halt paarweise wohl hinkriegen.
Warte, ich gehe mal zurück. Ich mach's erst andersrum, sicherheitshalber. Bevor mir das Spiel sagt, du machst die falsche Reihenfolge, das macht keinen Sinn. So, ne, dann hätte ich gerne den. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses, doch musste er wegen dem Road-Dingens. Fight!
Objection!
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds, Counsel. Explain yourself. I wasn't paying attention.
Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear.
What? I just wanted to get this done and dusted. Huh?
Well, juror number 3?
Oh, me, sir? What do you mean?
Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meerschaum Street, making it impassable. Which means that the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meerschaum Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? He must have had a good 2 yards, or more of the pavement. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have.
I suppose that must be right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop, but we see now that he had no choice.
Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
Yes!
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. What about you, sir?
Me? Okay, well, right then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in. That's what I say.
That's what he says.
Oh, chicka bow wow.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or I've got it, Susato-san. Discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do and what we're going to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent. By
Man sieht die mittlerweile in der Ecke und hat seine 5. Flasche runter. Dem ist alles so egal.
By whatever means we have at our disposal.
Oder er
schlägt schon seinen Rausch aus.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord. So. Madame, if I could pitch you with this gentleman who slipped over.
Objection!
And he's wearing green because he has no other jacket, apparently. Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, Counsel?
Well, juror number 2? Juror number 6?
What? Why, whatever do you mean, sir?
I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. Tiles. He then returned home on foot.
Fließt aus seiner Hand, auch gut.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we all are aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my!
My goodness, you mean...
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing, juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat, whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes, was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim.
Well, look at that.
My goodness me!
Was? Du musst mal pinkeln?
And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings, as proved now twice. Mic drop. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road, where the woman was stabbed, was not on his way home.
Oh my!
Was?
You idiot old man, if you hadn't been so daft as be it roaming about here, they'd have boxed this off hours ago.
Oh, and really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
Was sagt ihr? Hä? Ist es denn ein Verbrechen für einen alten Mann, einfach mal so spazieren zu gehen? Ist es denn ein Verbrechen, auszurutschen? Jetzt hört's aber mal auf! Ist es denn ein Verbrechen, mit dem neuesten Trend mitzulaufen und einen schönen grünen Mantel zu tragen, ja?
Moment mal. Hold it. My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
Das würde ich auch gerne.
What?
Ist es denn ein Verbrechen, seine Meinung zu ändern? In Deutschland vielleicht. Ich hab's nicht verstanden, aber ich ändere trotzdem meine Meinung.
Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. This is gonna take a while. The eyes, 2. The nose, 4. So the nose have it. Not guilty, they say.
Was mit meiner Nase?
Oh, nose. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue. Objection!
Klar. Ich will auch davon.
Could it seem curlish? Curlish?
Ich geh mal kurz googeln.
Mhm.
Ja.
Was heißt das überhaupt? Reißt?
Curlish?
Ungehobelt.
Ja, dreist.
Und jetzt zur Aussprache. Moment.
Ah, okay.
Churlish.
Sure. Okay.
The more you know.
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice?
Chalice, yes.
Moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
I just wanted to play that animation again.
Lord von Sietz?
Aber sonst bist du noch ganz knusper. It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
I'm not a circus?
No, you're not a clown. You are the entire circus.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these heroes with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. I
just played the entertainer. Never mind. What do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed, Star Juror Member 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims.
Aha, Mambo number 5. Alles klar.
I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated.
Excavated.
Excavated. Was heißt excavated? Ausgehoben oder?
Ausgehoben, ja. Ausgehoben.
Okay.
That's right. Took me the whole day, and they paid me a measly
Tuppence.
Pense for it.
Pinsel.
Ist das nicht dieses eine Pokémon?
Ja, Pupan. Oh Mann.
Ne, das hieß Puperze. Das hat andere.
Die haben einen Arsch voll Geld gegeben.
Cash gas or ass. No one writes for free.
Ich krieg 1 Euro die Stunde und einen Arschtritt.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend,
We're not friends.
tell me,
Tell me.
Tell me.
do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Ein Meter vielleicht? Ne, 2 Yards sind schon ordentlich.
Echo? Wie viel sind 2 Yards im Meter? 1,8 Meter. Also schon zu groß zum Rüberspringen, ja?
Ja, nur 2 Meter dürfte man eigentlich schaffen.
Ja, aber...
Nicht aus dem Stand und nicht aus dem Spaziergang heraus, aber mit Anlauf? Doch.
Aber das kannst du den Leuten doch nicht... Ja, spring mal 2 Meter mit deinen Büchern. Du bist ja nur ein Fußgänger, scheiß drauf. Als ob er da rüber gesprungen wäre. Das will er jetzt nicht wirklich anmerken, oder? Der will jetzt nicht sagen, ja, die Leute springen da 2 Meter drüber, kein Problem.
Ich glaube, das wird darauf hinauslaufen.
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Thanks, Sato-san. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all, but still too much to jump over casually.
In other words, a distance readily.
Readily.
Voted by anyone of moderate vigor.
No!
Doch, jeder, der ein bisschen gut bei Gesundheit ist, der kann das einfach springen.
Moment!
Also wir schon mal nicht.
Vor allem Walton ist ja auch so ein bisschen hier
Walton.
mit Stabhochsprung, ne?
Yeeten, ey! Yeete dich
mal
rüber!
selbst hoch.
Ich spring jetzt meinen Gang hier entlang, der ist 2 Meter weit.
Ja, vielleicht hat er ja, keine Ahnung, irgendwie so ein Rohr oder was weiß ich da genommen, was da so da lag. Und denkt sich so, ach, hier komm, ich schiete mich mal darüber.
Ja, hat er ja gesagt, Nummer 5, ne? Hier, da waren Rohre überall geplatzt, die lagen dann da so rum, die hat keiner mehr gebraucht.
Der sieht mir nicht aus wie so ein Stabspringer oder generell so ein Springer oder. Das ist.
Ja, da kannst du knicken.
Das
Aber
ist
das Ding hat überhaupt versucht. Mit seinen billigen Tricks.
Siggi, come on!
Bla bla.
Okay, mit einem Schritt Anlauf schaffe ich 1,5 Meter. Also ich schaffe so weit zu springen, wie ich groß bin.
Ist jetzt echt im Zimmer rumgesprungen? Hast versucht?
Hast du
Ja.
doch gesagt, ich spring jetzt mal ihre 2 Meter ab.
Habe ich jetzt nicht gehört.
So, I call Bullshit, wenn sieg's. Vielleicht Leute, die 2 Meter Beine haben wie du.
Go home, you're drunk.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Cam an, wir wollen das Springen auch sehen. Ja, vor der Cam kann ich nicht 2 Meter springen, da habe ich nicht so viel Platz.
Hey, me! Well, I can say you're wrong, no!
What?
And did you, perchance,
Bow chicka bow wow.
Mount Bow indeed, erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
Pedestrians.
Yes.
Fußgänger, kennt man doch. Pedestrians.
Mehr Pedestrian, weniger Peasant.
Fußgänger. Hey, I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time.
Dann fallen die Leute einfach nur ins Loch. Hallo, Sicherheitsvorkehrungen?
Gab's damals nicht.
Die gehören jetzt der Schlucht.
Oh, wie
No
hieß der noch?
coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway. Entschuldigung, das war
Weißt du, ich krieg schon nicht ständig auf Coincidence, aber du musst jetzt bei Hope wieder, natürlich.
Cool. Ey, einmal, okay, einmal.
And we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come.
Wie ist er nochmal mit... Dinges gehört jetzt der Schlucht?
Hm, was?
Bei Hennene gehört jetzt der Schlucht. Wie hieß er nochmal? Tobias? Tobi?
Timmy?
Nicht Timmy.
Der kleine Timmy?
Ah, okay, dann hast du den Quote nicht von den Mitchells. Die Mitchells gegen die Maschinen?
Nee.
Ah, okay. Weil da sind die irgendwie auf so einer Lama-Tour durch die Rocky Mountains, keine Ahnung. Und dann kommt so ein Sturm. Und dann eins dieser Lamas oder so treibt dann in diesem Fluss rum und der gehört jetzt der Schlucht.
Okay.
Okay. Das war einfach so random. Das ist so witzig. Muss ich euch gleich mal zeigen, erinnert mich da mal dran.
Okay, also nachher Watch Party.
Nicht den ganzen Film.
Nee, dann will ich auch nicht. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
Not 2 meters! Fuck off!
Kinder, bitte schön für Schnakenbeine. Ja. Das kannst du deiner Oma erzählen.
Alter, warum erzählt dieses Spiel schon wieder so eine Scheiße?
Wenn der da unten im Loch rumbuddelt, dann sieht und guckt da oben, dann wird jeder erstmal größer. Das müssen nicht unbedingt Kinder sein.
Das ist Danganronpa logischer.
Allerdings.
Das,
Oh, das ist schon dämlich.
weiß ich habe mich über Dual Destinies damals oder hier Apollo Justice ausgelassen, dass das keinen Sinn ergibt. Und dann ist dieses Spiel vom tatsächlichen Macher und Schreiber von Ace Attorney. Was hat er geraucht? Warum kommt ihr mit solchen Sachen an, wo du denkst, das funktioniert überhaupt nicht?
Aber es ist cool.
Nein!
Vermutlich hat er das selber ausprobiert, so, ja, soweit kann ich springen.
Ich kann das.
Das passt schon so, genau, das schreibe ich jetzt so rein. Das
Ich
ist an meinen
als-
Standard angelehnt.
Spiele Dev.
Ich kann diese Waffe abfeuern, ohne mir dabei die Hand zu brechen. Das kann auch ein 10-Jähriger, bestimme ich jetzt.
Ja, eben. Ist,
Ich habe das Blut an der Platte nicht gesehen, das hat mich nicht interessiert, das war halt Medium Rare. Also interessiert das auch sonst niemanden in einem Gerichtssaal, wo es um einen Mordfall geht.
das war schon da. Das wird mit dem Blut gleich aus der Fabrik rausgerollt. The accused is no gentleman, as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard track. Natürlich kann er das, der kann er was leben. Genau.
Ja,
Diggi,
sicher.
hast du gesoffen, mein Freund?
Wein.
Nein.
Wein.
Der Pulle. Ein Wein, 2 Wein, 3 Wein.
4 Wodka?
Na, was haben wir denn getrunken? Herr Wachmeister, schreiben Sie auf 10 Bier. Champagner können Sie eh nicht schreiben.
Glaubt ihm das doch nicht. Is that true? Is it? No, it's not.
Die The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodging, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Arsch. Crushed in a single sentence.
Deine Mutter walked Briar Road. And old man.
Kalter Mann! Gib mir mal Worte hier, Mensch! Ich bin zwar alt, aber noch nicht tot!
Hör auf, die Leute zu erzählen, dass ich tot bin.
You say that at around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Hat er hinten Augen?
Oh, kann ich nicht sagen.
You don't remember?
How about a wager? Wager?
Wager, ja.
Wager. My learned friend?
We're not friends.
You say it was this old man that that the accused saw.
Ja.
But I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
And you can't prove it either, so. Ja. Oh, jetzt endlich.
Oder.
Okay.
Notwendigs, explain yourself.
Lord? I?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
Sag ich nicht. I mean, I wanted to give this young foreign student the sight for experience he no doubt came for.
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing experience. Ich hab schon ein bisschen getrunken. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so Ridley war's nicht.
Was haben wir vorhin gesagt?
Ich versuche mich gerade dran zu erinnern.
Dann mach das, aber schnell.
Ah!
Damn it.
Readily.
Ridley. Hab ich doch vorhin gesagt, Ridley.
Ja, vorhin. Aber jetzt
Vorhin.
nicht.
Suede. Ridley Suede. I'm sorry I can't read. And have problems with my pronunciations. I'm stupid, alright? Das war jetzt 20, ja? Und ich? Von dem ganzen Alkohol wird er ein bisschen weinerlich.
Oh.
Sad drunk face.
I feel sad.
Ich warte auf seine flirty drunk face.
Die kommt nach seiner Jabba da Hutt Face. Warte mal,
Achso, du hast doch gerade vorgelesen. Ich dachte, du holst.
Na gut.
Ist jetzt ready.
So, my learned friend, it's time to strip. Today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
I'm not your friend. What are you doing, wollte ich gerade sagen. What are you doing?
That too.
Please, keep your pants on. What are you talking about?
My lord? The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
Tosen sind was für Spießer.
It's next witnesses?
Yes, the next witnesses is.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Nice.
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses on the incident.
To the incident.
Ah, yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
Alright, no matter who Van Zieks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. Pause. Nein, doch nicht. Oh. Oh. Oh, completely different people.
Ich hab jetzt auch gedacht, jetzt kommen irgendwie. Aber gut.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Okay, wer hat die Liste?
Ich hab sie offen und die beiden gehören alle Chiara.
Was, beide? Toll.
Ja, dann gib mir jetzt einen Drink mixen.
Nein, komm zurück.
Ja, also, ne? Have fun.
Wir ahnten, dass die zusammen auch noch im Zeugenstand stehen.
Soll ich Helmi Rody? Soll ich hier übernehmen? Rody Poly?
Constable Rowley
Beate.
Beatty. Roily
Beatty.
Beat.
So, nothing to report on the streets, huh?
Oh. Und doppelte Chiara-Power.
Oh.
Roly poly roly.
And I'm Mrs. Beatty. Patricia is my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town's hero's wife.
You sure you're not his sister? Because you look like a... Maybe she's both.
Kaut er da gerade auf seinen...
What's the story here? Do I want to know?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. As being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
24/7. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed! Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. And-
Judge, is something wrong with your throat?
And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing all street lights.
Aber dafür gibt es doch
Learys. Learys, that's what we lamplighters call ourselves. Triple light fantastic with me. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have I'd have collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat.
Oh no.
For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rowley?
Question around a bit. Sir, nothing to report on the streets, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. Jo, ich bin Fresh Dumbledore.
Ich kann den auch für die Zeit übernehmen.
That is okay. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Oh God. Oh God. Forging evidence doesn't seem so terrible suddenly.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rhodey was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a nearby police box.
The doctor?
Was it blue?
Of course it's blue. It's a police box.
Oh.
It was definitely the Japanese man in the dark. Rhodey and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Hmm.
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If the testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never
Fuck off!
viable in the first place.
He jumped 2 meters, sure.
Natürlich.
With 3 books in his arms. In the dark. In the snow. While the street was being foggy. As if. Die hätten genau den gleichen Abgang gemacht wie der andere Juror da.
What an unfortunate chancing, I guess.
Ja, bechancing.
And on your wedding anniversary too.
Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may will have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was, without doubt, the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Ja, hätte man gewusst, dass er doch nur am Pennen ist, hätte es auch beide übernehmen können.
Ja, kann ich auch beide machen.
Egal.
It was our wedding anniversary.
Ja, dann erzähl mal.
Was habt ihr so getrieben?
No time to change after work, you say. Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only.
It's a job for strapping young men only.
Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can you?
I think Rowley looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling?
Tja, hängen die am selben Schal?
Just finish my beat. That's and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting Ace there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rowley, I much prefer you in uniform.
You have a kink.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
I can only imagine the Bauchikawawa they're having. Not sure if consensual.
Bleibt der Schalter aber auch mit Daten trotzdem noch an?
Besonders der Schal bleibt an.
Okay, also alles fällt, aber der Schalter
Nein,
bleibt.
alles bleibt an, weil sie ja seine
So, ja, gut.
Uniform mag. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
And the beating for the day. Never mind.
Yep, more beating than meat.
That's right, yes. I was fit to drop. To be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But posing is my life, as long as I'm the proud owner of this, I serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
My run card shop. Prove that I'm a London copper.
You're made of copper?
It has the noble founding principles of the force written on its reminder. To all us policemen of our sworn duty.
You said duty.
Yes, honey. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Tja, wenn ich so weitermache, krieg ich noch eine Gehirnerschütterung. And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know what the blooding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
I don't know, when I see you I don't feel safe and secure. I want to put you in the bed and tuck you in. So fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
Yeah, but just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat,
Ooh.
what's up with...
Oi. Oi. Mrs. B, what's up with the Lord being married to a bobby like me? I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly! Patrolli, ha! Oh, ich gehe.
Ich wollte schon fragen, ist dein Name Roly Poly oder was? Oh Gott.
Where's Vegeta when you need him?
War das nicht in Spirit of Justice das erste Opfer? Patrol?
Ja. They
They
did it
They just
again.
recycled that same joke. Twice, basically.
Oh, what a charming couple! Their young love is such a joy to behold!
Sekunde. Young love. Old are
Sagen wir, ist nicht irgendwie gerade ein bisschen...
Ja, es ruckelt gerade sehr stark. bei
they?
dir.
Ja, meine. Es ist auch rot.
Mhm.
Patricia Beat ist 21. Rolly Beat ist 23. In Love? Die sind älter als du, Susato.
You don't know nothing about love.
So I know everything! If a little.
Over the top, perhaps?
And then, did everything go black? I mean, kindly describe what happened next.
Die haben sich nochmal angefreundet.
Mhm.
Anyway, the two silhouettes appeared out of the fog in the pavement in front of us.
Okay, okay. Two silhouettes.
That's right, they were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche.
Yunosuke, will you do the fandango?
Yes, unfortunately I do.
And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain it was dark, but there are street lights on Briar Road, you see? There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Is my coffee fertig? Well, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. As Briar Road is dead straight at you could see a fair long way down the pavement.
But Briar Road is the exact opposite of me. Because I'm
alive and gay.
Yes.
Warum müssen immer diese Strange Jokes sein?
She's acting as well. I didn't see any of her. That's her.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said?
Yes, some copper who spends all day every day keeping watch on the streets. It's where he does it.
I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. No, Pat.
Oh,
They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
Hold it!
Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time, but then, when we got closer we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
Yes, that's right. I was some old books.
I see. Old books. Almost as old as me.
Yes, so it probably had a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
Und auch schon wie sein Name auch einfach Mr. Beat ist.
Ja, Mr. Beat und Mrs. Beat. Rowley und Patricia.
Naja, ich hab einen Beat verloren.
Drop the beat.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
When we saw him, it was a man and the questions here. The mustache and the hatchback, the cat like this, the tight mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Ja, könnte aber auch der andere Typ gewesen sein.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those
Blip.
terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from the policeman and his wife. Now please continue. Well, thanks for your input.
Yes, yeah.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. It was our duty, at a point. But I promise never. Of course, sorry. Philip needs to the unguarded scene. Yeah.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
And that's why I sent Patricia this, you see. If I told her to find the right police box.
There's only one right police box.
And it's not blue. Wait, what?
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Oh, come on!
It depends on the crime's location. You see, there's two codes with it.
The doctor always deals with it.
Where the woman was dead was actually on my beat. Beat. So I told Patricia the way these box. Beat incident fell
Kann dem Jungen mal hier einer einen Kaffee holen?
reported.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There is nothing more
Shut.
there is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush. Isn't he, darling?
I'm always blushing.
Yeah, yes, Sean. What Patricia said, Sean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we?
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could! Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Stop.
Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you from... Ow. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Es würde euch vielleicht helfen, wenn ihr euch nicht denselben Schal teilen würdet.
I'm hard right now. I mean, what? Yes, it was the accused. No mistake. I must say, unexpected. Yeah, guys. As fabulous as
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any questions. It was Sosuke-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So, that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they saw. What they saw.
They say they saw.
They saw a saw.
They
And maybe
say
they saw.
They saw what they say they saw. They say they saw. They saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no, not again! Now what do we do? If Kazuma-sama were here...
Which I am not.
What are you trying to say?
I think you would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within the testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
The statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that
Ich
into
hasse dieses Wort.
Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of the testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it! Come here! Come here!
Glass Joe, is that you?
What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. Come at me. Come
Mag
at
das
me.
Team.
Ich kann Karaoke.
Karaoke war noch gar nicht erfunden.
I remember every last detail. Everything. Like, oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. I could. Every single one.
Oh, please do. We have a list.
What? And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is? How dare you! Damn it!
So ist es, muss Schnauze halten.
No, I won't do it all. I won't do it all. I have to say what I have to say. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Yeah,
Like,
even if I decided to
jeopardizing Van
forgive
Dijk's
him.
entire plan.
Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will. He will punch his lights out.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Sorry. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely.
Dass der Roll noch kein Schleudertrauma hat.
Ich glaube, so oft wie der fast einklingt, hat der ein Schleudertrauma.
Am Ende ist es ein Kink.
Ich
Dass er
glaube,
gewirkt hat, so, I'm hard right now.
ich glaube, mit der Frau zusammen zu sein, ist wirklich so, du findest einfach keine ruhige Minute. Deshalb ist er mal kurz vorm Einschlafen. Die hält ihn einfach wach.
Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene.
But please
It
do.
was free.
4 books?
Three,
Hold
four,
on a second, then,
one,
girl.
3 books.
The kind. So wie Werf zählt. Is this what you've been waiting for? Say 1, 2, and 4.
What about number 3?
No. Only 2.2. Ja, dann mal los, Mädel. Hau raus.
Objection!
So, you're saying that there were 4 books? There are 4 lights.
1, 2, 3, and the other.
That's right. I remember all of them.
The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, and A Meal for Someone, and the something something.
Think of me.
4 books,
A
definitely.
meal for someone. It's dinner for one.
Ah,
Mm.
The picture of Monsieur
Portrait of Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray, What's It Yearnings.
Yearnings sagt mir was, aber ich komme
Ja.
nicht drauf. What's it? Ja, What's it ist gut in dem Fall. Dinner for
what's
one.
it gonna be?
Mhm.
Ich glaube nicht, dass es Dinner for One ist. Das kennen die
Ja, doch.
nicht. Das kennen die nicht. Das ist Deutsch.
Darauf spielen die an.
Ja, sicher. Meal for...
Me for someone. Ja.
A picture of Monsieur Lecroc. A meal for Gaboriot. Canterbury Yearnings. Naja. Ja gut. Sie hat zumindest die 3 jeweils ein Wort richtig.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Speed. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
No, not my books. Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. Excuse me. No, my tea is gone, and so am I. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books.
Oh really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from the evidence as well, there are only 3 books.
Da liegt die Dicke vor.
Yes, but I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear, I saw them. Did. I truly did. I did.
No.
Schatzi, sag doch auch mal was.
No, madam, I'm afraid your powers of observation hierarchy cannot be relied upon.
How dare you defile me?
Hast du jetzt Defile oder Defy gesagt? Mit oder ohne L?
Defy.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, wäre doch ein bisschen was schief gelaufen.
So, it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no!
Schnell wieder aufgestanden.
Objection!
Punch your face.
I'm so done with this shit. Ah, damn it. It's plainly evident. It is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese
We're
friend.
not friends. What? Oh no, you're just gonna crush your chalice again.
What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies.
Konsequenzen!
Konsequenzen, Junge, Alter!
Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple and clean. Let me explain with a toast.
Wenn es auf die Marmeladenseite fällt, bist du schuldig.
Einfach so ein Stück Toast an den Kopf schmeißen. Klatsch. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
I'll still punch your lights out.
You see, the matter is not up for debate. It is seen on Briar Road. A total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Das ändert aber nichts daran, dass er nur 3 gekauft hat.
Ja, wir haben den Beleg da. Also von
Ja,
daher.
selbst wenn du jetzt damit kommst, dann hat er das 4. halt geklaut. Nein, da war noch wer anders. Ist vielleicht mit ihm zusammengestoßen und haben die 2 Idioten vom Tag vorher nicht uns irgendwie drüber geredet, dass das eine Buch noch weg ist?
Oh. Du erinnerst dich daran noch? Meine Güte.
Ich glaube. Irgendwas haben die doch gequatscht.
But what about
Die haben einiges gequatscht, aber gesagt haben sie nichts.
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in a print.
Also es gibt 4 Bücher, die man borgen kann. That print? You mean to say there is another updated autopsy report, bitches?
Yet, allow me to present another.
I was fucking kidding, als ich
When that
gesagt
shows
habe.
the victim's hand.
Fucking autopsy report!
Ey, also, da liegt der vierte Wälzer liegt da im Bild, ja. Hm. Nur die Dicke davor.
Hey, hör doch mal auf.
Wir werden abgehört.
Ja, weil die Entwickler wieder uns jetzt abgehört haben, sind in der Zeit zurückgereist und haben das Spiel angepasst, als sie es entwickelt
Natürlich,
haben.
es war bei Danganronpa genauso.
Ja.
Selbst mit den Witzen, und Anspielungen, die wir bei den Aliens gemacht haben, die wurden dann übernommen.
Ja.
Ist doch gefotoshoppt. Ja, Mann.
Die haben eindeutig zu viel Freizeit im Revier. Die haben da einfach irgendwie was da zusammen gepastelt.
Ich finde es auch immer genial, bei passiert immer dieses Emote einfach, man kann es hören. Man kann es hören.
The Lion's Pride.
Right. Es ist angekokelt. Oder abgeschnitten.
Lions Pride? War das nicht irgendwie bei dem Colonel oder irgendwie so? Hatte der nicht irgendwas mit Lions?
Da war auf jeden Fall was mit dem Brand und da war was mit dem Löwen, ja.
Genau, also ja. Oh, I remember something.
Man soll das auch hören können. Puff, puff, puff.
Mach den Tisch nicht kaputt, Marcel, den musst du noch bezahlen.
I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
Da, der war ja.
I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I don't care. As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
In anderen Worten, die Fette lag davor.
No.
Lions Pride, warum muss ich da gerade an Eskalo denken?
There, you see? Look at that. Look. Yes. Der Tisch soll brechen.
Aber trotzdem halt, man hatte dann noch den Beleg und sagte, ich kann mich ganz genau an den Namen erinnern. Kannst du nicht.
Kannst du nicht.
Ja, absolut. Aber grundsätzlich, ja, das Bild von irgendwem, irgendwas Yearnings,
Mittagessen bei.
Dinner for Otti, und dann...
Irgendwas mit irgendwas.
Ja, das war falsch, ne?
Priceline war komplett falsch. Da war nicht mal ein Wort dabei.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, das war doch komplett was anderes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, Sean. Patricia's always right, Sean.
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Spade. The titles once again, if you please.
Und diesmal richtig.
Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur something or somebody or other, and
The picture of Monsieur Le... you know what. The
Out with it! Tell us what the title is, Lord Van Zieks.
Is Monsieur Le Coq?
That is funny.
Was it yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings.
Or can he?
A meal for someone?
A meal for
Gaborio.
Gabriel. Yo. As the court has just heard, the witnesses remember the book titles
Flawlessly.
Absolutely flawless.
Save for a few minor details.
War Titel.
Mrs. Beat's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Yes, exceptionally stupid.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
He did not.
In how is our smolings? Yes, Patricia's flowers.
But there are only
No
3
buts.
books on the receipt. And Mrs. Beatty mentioned 4. Eat.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. Look at this photograph.
I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches.
Halt die Fresse, sonst klatscht es!
In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here, as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, Counsel.
Boah, nur weil du bitte gesagt hast.
My pleasure, my lord.
Das ist halt wie süß. Oh, plötzlich ist es nicht mehr ganz so süß. Dieses GIF? Ich hab's größer gemacht, jetzt ist es gruselig.
Das ist im Chat oder wie?
Ja. Ja, Knoske. The Lion's Pride.
The prosecution's rest. I have nothing further to add.
Es wäre jetzt cool gewesen, wenn er einfach nur den Kopf nach vorne und die Augen zugelassen hätte. Die Staatsanwaltschaft ruht sich aus.
What?
I said the prosecution rest. You seem surprised, my learned friend.
Not friends.
But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile.
Futile.
Damn it! My brain's already resting.
The spurious longer road to the accused lodging that you tried to establish in your
Es rollt so schön von der Zunge. Summation Examination.
summation examination. Blah. And the attempt is
Eine gute Sichi.
and the attempted discrediting of the witness powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
I think I just heard something crack.
Yay, nice Pat. Marry me, Pat.
We already did, you dumbass.
War ich dabei?
So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions.
Alle so,
No.
nö, kein Bock.
Nein, will ich auch nicht.
Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty?
Yes.
Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence.
You did not.
This trial has run its course.
Nur weil du müde bist, heißt das nicht, dass wir fertig sind.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse.
Ist wie beim Liebesamt.
Think, Yonosuke, think. No.
No, they did not do that.
What do you
This
do
is not
now?
a reference, right?
Ich glaube, das gab's schon länger.
Ich glaube, das Spiel war raus, bevor Invincible raus war, oder?
Ich glaube, dass dieses Denk, ja, ne?
Ja, gut,
das gab's schon länger. Also, das ist nicht von Invincible.
Natürlich.
Ja, ne?
Also es ist keine Reference.
Nein.
Nein.
Es
Aber
wäre
es wird offensichtlich für eine Reference gehalten, weil, ne?
Ah.
Everything is a reference. It
It's a
could be a
JoJo
JoJo reference.
It is a JoJo reference, even though it's an Invincible reference, which did not exist.
Think, Yonosuke, think. What do you do now? I raise an objection.
Objection.
That was a weak objection.
I'm not done yet.
No, my lord. Friend?
We're not friends.
It's over. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
So richtig nörgelnd. Nee.
Ja, richtig. Nee.
So Rionosuke so.
That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense. And you sucked at it. You failed. The die has been cast. There's no more room for debate.
Well,
Genauso.
Underestimate my power.
well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but I can't think of what to say. I would know what to say in Japanese. I'm just not that fluent in English. The words are not coming to my mind.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Hat sie gesagt.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant, you have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh.
You wanna go? You wanna go?
Oh.
Search your feelings, Ryonosuke. Deep down in your heart, you know we're friends.
I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. But I've only had 4 weeks to learn all of this, so you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Wake up!
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us?
Roll a d20.
Roll for persuasion. What?
Nein, Insight.
Never. Das ist eine, dann das andere. What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for.
Maybe.
The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings. Yeah, in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
It's okay, I'm doing that.
I get the hint.
So, there's this photo. That doesn't help, but that's a very nice ear.
Nur mal so eine Frage, hast du gerade auch
Ja, sie hat auch
Exomai?
falsch, ja, sie hat auch falsch ausgesprochen.
Was hab ich gesagt?
Du hast Examine gesagt, anstatt Examen.
Fuck, ja.
I've been there so many times.
Ja, das... Hallo, das sage ich seit 6 Jahren falsch.
Eigentlich hast du es also heute bis eben immer richtig ausgesprochen.
Wann habe ich denn...
Ja, da war das gerade auch schon ein paar Mal, wo sie auch Exomine gesagt hat.
Ich
Und
wollte
du
grad sagen.
auch.
Da war
Und
ich-
du auch.
Echt?
Nee. Doch.
Examen.
Außer wenn ich es halt wirklich dann selber gemerkt habe, dann so, verdammt, jetzt bin ich auch noch da reingerutscht. Aber sonst?
Ja.
Puff.
Look at the book.
Oh, look at this! The book has been badly burnt!
You're right. We'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the letter pages.
What a terrible waste.
Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
Gerade erst zugefügter Schaden, glimmt noch ein bisschen.
No.
Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard.
Wait a minute? The Lion's Pride? That's strange.
I think I have heard of a book by that name before, and very recently too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ja, bei Gary Depp.
Nope.
Wo sonst will es angekugelt worden sein?
Okay, I did that. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mr. Sato. Hast du nicht schon eine Kritzelei? Passé?
Er will noch eine.
Noch eine.
Lass mich doch erstmal das eine Paket fertig machen und endlich mal irgendwann abschicken.
Ja, genau.
Ja.
Pakete.
Kartons habe ich hier. Ich habe noch keinen Inhalt. Denn seitdem ich gesagt habe, ich gehe jetzt endlich mal was kaufen, war Corona so 1000 Incidents wert. Ich so, ja, okay, ich gehe mal nicht raus. Ich war nicht mehr in der Ecke zum japanische Süßigkeiten kaufen. Seit letztes Jahr im Sommer.
Wie lange habe ich das eigentlich schon?
Da hatte ich noch keinen Karton.
Ach so. Ah, die Ausreden kommen dir aber gelegen.
Ich und Post ist so, das hätte ich mir früher überlegen
Lässt mich
sollen.
hier am langen Arm verhungern einfach.
Ist ja nicht weg. Gut Ding will Weile haben. Ich bin vielleicht ein wenig gierig. Ich will alles. Okay. Okay, this is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let this go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece, further in brackets, of course, of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has, what? Been
Hitherto?
overlooked.
Hitherto.
Hitherto.
Oh mein Gott, ja stimmt. Jetzt wo du sagst.
Ist das du?
Hitherto. Bis hierhin. Oder bisher.
Irgendwann in naher Zukunft. Hey, Herr Crimson, alles Gute zu deinem 74. Geburtstag. Hier ist dein Paket. Erinnerst du dich daran? It's been 84 years.
Ja, mein 74. Geburtstag, Gott, ist das lange her.
Ich würde sagen, das Buch.
Ist genauso wie, auf Dual Disc und die PSP, ne? Das ist ja immer noch bei dir irgendwo
Das
rumliegen.
ist immer noch da. Ich weiß genau, was es ist.
Aber du hast keinen Karton, der so groß genug ist, damit das alles reinstopfen kannst.
Also einen großen Karton hätte ich. Ist aber ein bisschen sehr groß.
So ein Umzugskarton.
Aber fast. Da ist der PC geliefert worden.
Ah.
Okay, also dann schickst du den mal Chiara, dann schickt die mir dann Dual Disc und PSP dann zu mir und ich schicke dir den Karton zu dir.
Dann muss ich mir aber erst noch einen Karton holen, um den Karton einzupacken und Füllmasse. Das ist so bescheuert einfach.
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
We have already discussed the fourth book at length.
No, we did
Haben
not.
wir nicht.
Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Ah, stop saying that.
Schnarch, schnarch. Yes, I'm afraid, Counsel, I must concern with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, Counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track.
yes, I think you might be right.
So, Counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals?
It's the back.
Back,
Back.
backity back.
Back is the word.
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The bag? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burned to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Not friends.
Were I to concede a point if it bears no relation to the case, there's nothing to discuss. So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray to enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide?
A chart book.
There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Council. Explain this theory of yours. It's a game theory after all. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered?
Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth. About the book's owner.
Na, jetzt bin ich ja mal gespannt.
But we already know that who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious, how can you possibly?
Yada yada yada. Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if you little gamble goes.
Ori.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? Is it the man with the moon face? It's the man with the moon face, isn't it?
Natürlich er. Gary Depp. John.
Man mit dem
John.
Moonface.
Ja, ja.
The man with the moon face.
Ich wollte mal lesen, was bei ihr steht. Als ja ganz praktisch. Oh nein, da müssen wir nochmal von ihr rauskriegen. Ja, ist übrigens dein Mann, ne? Ne, du kennst das Buch, ne?
Oh Mensch, da hat er so nicht aufgepasst.
It says
Aber ich kann doch gar nicht lesen.
Lex Lions. Like that.
The answer is blowing in the wind. Is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. Woo! 380, 360. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Gaddydepp.
The landlords.
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fated work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Gaddydepp herself. Oh my goodness! Me?
Wusste ich ja gar nicht.
I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Gaddydepp's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you could just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Gaddydepp's house? I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch?
Besmirch.
Besmirch.
Ach, dann ist das Wort, das habe ich schon mal gehört.
Ja, irgendwas mit Smurf. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence.
You should have seen our dance of deduction yesterday. It was marvelous.
Also, we have a mountain of evidence.
Your actions are unforgivable.
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Gaddydepp's house.
Good lord! What sort of incident, Council?
A fire. My lord.
Smurfs? Was das mit den Flümpfen?
Right to say it was. But in the blink of an eye, you know.
Bäh, ich erinnere mich. Bäh.
Ui.
The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride.
Einfach seine Jojo-Pose.
Alter, das ist wirklich eine Jojo-Pose.
Der macht nichts anderes, komm!
Ja, er ist eine wandelnde Jojo-Reference. Oder einfach Jojo-Fanboy.
Ich meine, er ist ja zu derselben Zeit am Leben, ne? Wo Dio und Jonathan...
Ja klar, ne, da war mal Postbote bei denen.
Genau.
By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Oh dear me.
Objection!
Das ist nur eine Abschrift.
This is recital. All you told the court is that the book by the same name was involved in a fire.
Das wollte man sich auch nochmal nachschauen gerade.
In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burned to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was martial discord.
Danke, Discord.
T-Shirt kommt!
Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garrideb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garrideb even amid the flames and threw a book after him.
Oh, how wonderful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Hast du wonderful gesagt? Da stand awful.
Awful.
Nicht wonderful.
Den wollen wir nochmal durchgehen. Das möchte ich nochmal lesen.
Das klang wirklich wie so, oh, wonderful.
Oh, how wonderful!
Horrid!
Oh, wonderful. Das muss ich mir gleich mal merken.
Das passt aber auch zu den beiden einfach. Das ist super.
Oops.
Absolutely not sure. Raise a finger against me.
Den Finger nicht, aber den Schal.
Ganze Faust nur.
And all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of him, that was it. Whoosh, up in the smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen.
The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
No. Just no.
Good old South American values, no.
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. And there's no report of the Garrideb's window pane.
Pain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pain
There was something on your face. It was pain.
being
A
broke.
window pane.
Yeah, but das Fenster offen war. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garrideb household. But it is not conceivable that the window was open at the time and...
Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would have leave a window open in the middle of winter.
Van Dix, my friend, I think you should stop drinking. You are missing your lines.
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garrideb's wife?
Mm-hmm. I believe it's a possibility, my lord.
That's quite enough.
Hält's auf die Fresse, Junge!
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward.
Really?
Oh, claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly, implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All I've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention. I swear to God.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense.
Ihn gerade geschlagen?
Die hat ihn gerade geschlagen.
Geschubst.
Na gut, geschubst, geschlagen, naja.
Ein Schubsschlag, so ein... Naja.
Ein Schlaps halt.
Aber der kann's auch ab, ne? Der ist ja kräftig. Der ist ein Mann. Den anderen, den hättest du die Lichter ausgeblasen.
I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right.
Here we go again.
How long have we sat here now, listening to this Nippon spouting out his fancy foreign theories?
Shimatta, here we go again. See what I did there? No? Okay.
Yeah.
But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache and run away from the scene too.
I do declare you right.
It's true.
Ah, yes. What did I tell you?
Makes sense to me.
Was? Hä? Wie war das?
Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentle beauties of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Dracula?
Nobody cares.
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always experience patience in order to savor the best vintage.
Exercise, nicht Experience.
Exercise, Entschuldigung.
No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... Oh, excuse me!
Oh boy, here we go with the leg. If books are your predilection, my learned...
Don't say it!
Study them on your own time. I'm gonna pull my leg back and get a cramp.
What? Don't forgive the discordia this time or something? No? Okay.
In that case, ladies and gentle beauties of the jury,
How about a recess?
you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Das ist aber auch der Jura 6 einfach wirklich klingt wie den Richter sprechen.
Guilty. Thank you for that unambiguous response.
Well, back to square one.
It's twice now, it's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Mr. Sato.
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point.
You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord,
Was für ein Pech.
the defense asks to exercise its right to summation examination.
Summation examination.
Himpf. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve?
No, I just want to go to bed. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Taking this wine glass fills you with determination. Oh my god, it's actually a racist. I couldn't believe it. To be continued. Thank you. You've heard me, game. Yes, perfect. Ah, gut. Dankeschön, Spiel.
Gut gespielt.
Dankeschön. Perfekt. Dann können wir hier aufhören. Geil.
Cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Mit Ü.
Ja, natürlich.
Mit Ü. Ich raus.
Muss ich aber nochmal speichern. Ja, klar, noch ein Slot, ne? Wir haben's ja.
Ich muss halt nicht
Ach, genau
sparen.
der Richtige. Du speicherst auch so oft in Danganronpa an verschiedenen Stellen.
Jo, und? Man weiß ja
I've
nie.
saved my game. Shut up. Eieieiei. Nach all dem, wir sind nach fast 4 Stunden sind wir keinen Schritt weiter. Ist das frustrierend? Ist das ätzend?
Du hast doch nie wirklich Danganronpa irgendwie gesehen, oder?
Nein.
Get used to it.
Du hast noch nie ein Ace Attorney-Spiel gespielt vorher, oder?
In keinem anderen Ace Attorney ist man so ständig wieder auf Null zurück. Du hast jetzt 3-4 Stunden gespielt und bist wieder auf Square Null.
Es ist vor allem diese große Dummheit. Du beweist an sich so viele Sachen, dass es nicht hätte anders sein können.
Und alle so
aber sobald nur ein kleines Detail nicht hinhaut, sondern du das nicht beweisen kannst, dass es in deine Theorie passt.
Aber wenn
geht alles hin und du wirst mit hingerichtet.
Ja. Und
Ja,
wenn Sieg ist so, ja, der kann 2 Meter weit springen. Natürlich hat er das gemacht. Das musst du nicht beweisen, dass er 2 Meter weit springen kann, nicht? Nein, das glaubt ihr ihm einfach. Ja klar, kein Problem. Das ist halt so an den Haaren herbeigezogen, das ist dann wieder
Also die Kutsche in den Gerichtssaal oder irgendwie reinschleifen, ne? Aber nicht einfach mal sagen können, okay, hier 2
Spring
oder 3
mal.
Meter, hier Platz, ne? Angeklagter, ne? Mach mal Anlauf und spring mal 2 Meter.
Oder nicht mal unbedingt den Angeklagten fragen, sondern andere Leute, die dann auch nicht 2 Meter
ne?
springen können. Vor allen Dingen auf einem slippery, icy Boden.
Eben.
Ah, es ist... Man hätte sich das Ganze dann wieder sparen können. So die ganze erste Hälfte davon so... No one needs that. Warum muss ich das jetzt überhaupt beweisen, wenn es sowieso scheißegal ist?
Logic was never an option.
Spring 2 Meter mit doppelter Schraube. Ich hab gehört, Teil 2 ist besser. Ich bin gespannt.
Was ist welcher Teil 2?
Also, wir sind ja jetzt bei Adventures und danach kommt
Resolve.
Resolve, genau. Das sind ja
So,
Great Ace Attorney 1 und 2.
Im Grunde sollten das wahrscheinlich ein Spiel werden, weil wir haben jetzt überhaupt noch gar keinen richtigen Plot, was jetzt übergreifend ist.
Ja, das ist auch super ätzend.
Das ganze erste Spiel ist nur das Tutorial fürs zweite, habe ich das Gefühl.
Es ist Justice for all over again. Justice for All hat auch keinen, nicht mal annähernd roten Faden.
Nee, das Einzige, was wirklich dann als Plot galt, war, als Maya entführt wurde.
Ja.
Again? Oder ist das erste Mal?
In dem Fall das erste Mal.
Ja.
Okay, bei der muss man ja fragen.
Ja. Aber
mein-
sie war trotzdem selbst schuld daran. Sie hat sich praktisch selbst entführen lassen.
Ich meine, da war ein bisschen Faye-Plot wieder dabei, der sich dann durchgezogen hat, aber größtenteils war es halt, okay, Franziska möchte Revenge haben und und Maya hat ihren Familienplot, der anderthalb Mal angeschnitten wird.
Ja.
War das beim ersten Mal Dual Destiny spielen habe ich ja auch teilweise gedacht, von wegen, ist das ätzend. Aber als wir das dann zusammengespielt haben, war es nicht mehr ganz so schlimm. Aber jetzt
Weil du einen guten Bobby Fulbright hattest.
Ja, vielleicht auch. Aber ich glaube, bei Dual Destinies gab es auch ein paar Stellen, wo ich mir dachte, warum wird alle das, was ich gerade gemacht habe, komplett kaputt gemacht?
Ja, vor allem in den letzten 2 Fällen.
Ja.
Das war auch so, warum? Simon, warum? Wir versuchen dir hier gerade den Arsch zu retten.
Ja. Und ich habe so was Sinn macht, Ace Attorney vs. Professor Layton Flashbacks. Das haben wir hier noch nicht gespielt, aber das habe ich damals, als es rauskam, gespielt. Habe auch ewig dran gesessen. Weil die Gerichtsverhandlungen auch super ätzend für mich waren. Dann hast du halt auch deine Jury gehabt. Oder beziehungsweise nicht deine Jury, sondern deine 6 Leute, die du gleichzeitig cross-examined hast. Die sich dann gegenseitig ins Wort gefallen sind und du musstest halt, okay, hier, der reagiert jetzt auf den anderen, wenn er das und das sagt, etc. bla bla. Und dann bist du dadurch und dann kommt irgendein Kack-Typ aus der Galley und sagt, ich habe aber alles gesehen, das war ganz anders und und dann musst du den immer examinen. Nicht examinen. Befragen. Den verhören.
Genau.
Und in jedem Fall kommt dann, ich habe aber gesehen, und du denkst dir einfach, halt's Maul, du hast nichts gesehen.
Hast du nicht.
Das ist super ätzend.
Das glaube ich, aber irgendwie müssen wir müssen irgendwie die Spielzeit müssen wir erfüllen, also lasst mal noch mal wen einmischen oder dasselbe Detail noch 3-mal auseinandernehmen.
Und auch vom selben Schreiber wie Great Ace Attorney. Vom Originalschreiber von Ace Attorney. Und du denkst, was ist passiert in den letzten, zwischen der ersten Trilogie und danach?
Ja, passt ja so ungefähr, ne?
Weiß genau gesehen.
He says blindfolded.
Und was Professor Layton vs. Ace Attorney halt auch hat, ist, es gibt nur 2 Angeklagte. Es gibt das Mädel, die
und
Sophie
Maya.
Und Maya. Und die 5 oder 6 Mal gibt es diese Gerichtsfälle und nur diese beiden werden angeklagt. Ich sage, warum? Wir haben schon gesagt, dass sie keine Hexen sind. Warum wollt ihr das jetzt nochmal durchkriegen?
Es könnte ja trotzdem sein, dass ihr uns letztes Mal nur verarscht habt. Diesmal kriegen wir euch.
Der Professor Layton-Teil war mir lieber an dem Spiel.
Man sagt sich immer so dumm ist doch keiner wirklich. Aber seit ein paar Jahren doch.
Sad. Ich möchte in meinem Spiel nicht an sowas erinnert werden. Naja, aber ich bin gespannt, wie es weitergeht.
Oh ja, das wird nochmal.
Wie sich das. Ja, vor allen Dingen wie das, was in den letzten Fällen so irgendwann unter den Teppich gekehrt wurde, wie wer hat jetzt eigentlich den Wilson getötet? Was ist mit, ne, wer hat Dingens auf dem Gewissen? McGildet auf dem Gewissen. Und was auch immer hier dann wieder dazukommen wird. Ob sich das alles in dem letzten Fall oder so dann zusammenfügen wird.
Am Ende war das wirklich einfach nur einer, der das dann irgendwie alles zurückführt.
Shelly the Killer. Hohoho. Objection! Na gut. Dann würde ich sagen, machen wir Schluss für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Mitspielen, wollte ich sagen, mit Synchronisieren.
Gerne, immer wieder.
Jupp.
Fürs Zuschauen. Fürs Miträtseln. Dann sehen wir uns demnächst wieder. Raus. Yes. Bye bye.
So, ihr lieben Kinderlein, es ist schon spät. Doch bevor es für euch ins Bettchen geht, ratet mal, wer da vor eurem Fenster steht. draußen im Dunkeln, wo ihr ihn nicht seht. Just sobald ihr eure Äugelein zugemacht, es ist Glatzmatz, Glatzmatz, hässlich wie die Nacht. Glatzmatz, Glatzmatz, hässlich wie die Nacht. Schließt schnell die Äugelein, dann kommt er sogleich. Spitzt eure Ohren, lauscht jedem Geräusch. Dann hört ihr ihn atmen, vielleicht auch ein Schaben. Fast lautlos das Kratzen an dem Fensterrahmen. Das kommt von der Harke, die er mitgebracht. Es ist Glatzmatz, Glatzmatz, hässlich wie die Nacht. Jetzt alle Glatzmatz, Glatzmatz, hässlich wie die Nacht. Und nochmal Glatzmatz, Glatzmatz, hässlich wie die Nacht. Glatzmatz.